This road sign means A. The left lane is reserved for vehicles with a specific number of occupants. B. Specific turning movements are allowed from specific lanes. C. Do not enter. D. Drivers in both lanes are responsible for merging smoothly. A. The left lane is reserved for vehicles with a specific number of occupants. This sign marks a high-occupancy vehicle (HOV) lane. HOV lanes are reserved for use by buses and vehicles with a driver and one or more passengers, as indicated on the sign. This sign indicates that A. There is a steep hill ahead. B. No trucks are allowed on an upcoming hill. C. A logging road is ahead. D. There are trucks on an upcoming hill. A. There is a steep hill ahead. This sign warns that there is a steep hill or downgrade ahead. This sign means A. Don't drink if you are going to drive. B. Slippery when wet. C. Road curves ahead. D. You are approaching a hill. B. Slippery when wet. This sign warns that the road is slippery when wet. This sign means A. 4-lane traffic ahead. B. Divided highway ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. D. Intersection ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. This sign warns of 2-way traffic ahead.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
This sign means A. Narrow bridge ahead. B. Lane ends or roadway narrows ahead. C. Industrial area. D. Freeway on-ramp ahead. B. Lane ends or roadway narrows ahead. Warning signs are usually diamond-shaped with black markings on a yellow background. They alert drivers to upcoming hazards. This sign warns drivers that the right lane is ending or that the road is narrowing ahead. This sign means A. Slippery when wet. B. Tow-away zone. C. Steep downgrade. D. Roadwork ahead. A. Slippery when wet. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign tells drivers to be cautious when driving under conditions that may cause the roadway to become wet and slippery. This road sign means A. Road widens ahead. B. Lane reduction, the right lane ends soon. C. Highway entrance ramp ahead. D. Lane reduction, the left lane ends soon. B. Lane reduction, the right lane ends soon. This sign indicates that the right lane ends ahead. The sign with this shape and color is a fill in the blank sign. A. No passing zone. B. Wrong way. C. Railroad crossing. D. Stop. A. No passing zone. Pennant-shaped warning signs like this are only used to indicate a no passing zone. This road sign means A. The road ahead turns sharply right, then left. B. The road ahead turns sharply left, then right. C. The road ahead curves to the left. D. Construction ahead. A. The road ahead turns sharply right, then left. This sign indicates that the road ahead will turn sharply to the right and then to the left. This sign means A. Stop. B. Side road. C. Two-way left turn. D. Farm machinery. A. Stop. 8-sided traffic signs warn drivers that they must stop and yield the appropriate right-of-way at an intersection. Drivers may proceed when it is safe to do so. A yellow light that flashes on and off means A. Stop and look for other vehicles, then go if there is no traffic. B. Stop and wait for a green light. C. Speed up to clear the intersection quickly. D. Slow down and proceed with caution. D. Slow down and proceed with caution. A flashing yellow traffic light means drivers should slow down and proceed with caution. Combining alcohol and drugs usually A. Multiplies the effects of only the alcohol. B. Multiplies the effects of only the drugs. C. Multiplies the effects of both the drugs and the alcohol. D. Cancels out the effects of both the drugs and the alcohol. C. Multiplies the effects of both the drugs and the alcohol. Alcohol consumption can impact both legal and illegal controlled substances. Combining alcohol and drugs will often enhance the side effects of both substances, making it extremely dangerous for the consumer to drive. Motorists are not required to yield to pedestrians if they are walking against the traffic light. A. True. B. False. B. False. You must always yield the right-of-way to pedestrians. Be aware of the possibility that pedestrians may misjudge traffic signals and cross against a light. If driving in fog, a driver should turn on the high beam headlights to increase their field of vision. A. True. B. False. B. False. While it is not advisable to drive in fog, if you must drive in foggy conditions, you should drive with the headlights set on dim or use fog lights. A driver under the age of the 18th of May use a cell phone while driving? A. At any time. B. If they are making an emergency call. C. To send a text message. D. If they are driving at a speed slower than 40 miles per hour. B. If they are making an emergency call. In the state of Virginia, it is against the law for a driver under the age of 18 to make a phone call while operating a moving vehicle, except in the event of an emergency. It is against the law for any driver to read or send text messages while driving. Legally, you are considered to be driving under the influence if you have a minimum blood alcohol content, BAC, of A. 0.06%, B. 0.08%, C. 0.1%, D. 0.12%, B. 0.08%. Drivers age 21 and older are considered to be driving under the influence, DUI, if their BAC is 0.08% or greater. If a person's driving is impaired, they can be convicted of a DUI even if their BAC is lower than 0.08%. Drivers under age 21 can be convicted of illegal consumption of alcohol if their BAC is 0.02% or greater. Do not pass. A. On a hill or curve. B. When school bus lights are flashing. C. When approaching an intersection. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. You should never pass if there is an oncoming vehicle in the passing lane, if your view is blocked by a curve or hill, at an intersection, before or on a railroad crossing or bridge, or in any other no-passing zone. Unless you are on the opposite side of a multi-lane roadway with a median or shared center turn lane, you may not pass a stopped school bus that has its flashing red lights activated. Railroad crossings should always be considered. A. Safe to cross, as it is unlikely that a train will be coming. B. Dangerous. C. Safe locations to park a car. D. A place where it is required to stop. B. Dangerous. Railroad crossings are always dangerous. Drivers should always look and listen for trains approaching from either direction on all railroad tracks. Always follow the directions indicated by signs, signals, and flaggers. Never proceed past a railroad crossing until you are certain it is safe to do so. Always wear your seat belt's shoulder strap. A. Behind your back. B. Loosely. C. Under your arm. D. Snug, without any slack. D. Snug, without any slack. Your shoulder and lap belts should be snug. Your shoulder belt should be worn over your shoulder and across your chest, not behind your back or under your arm. When merging onto a freeway, it is usually best to A. Proceed slowly while waiting for an opening. B. Accelerate to a speed that is faster than the speed of traffic. C. Turn on your hazard lights until safely on the freeway. D. Accelerate to the speed of freeway traffic. D. Accelerate to the speed of freeway traffic. When entering a freeway, use the on-ramp to accelerate to the speed of freeway traffic so you can blend in smoothly and safely. Entering traffic must yield to traffic already on the freeway. Signs that are colored orange are A. Work zone signs. B. Regulatory signs. C. School zone signs. D. Guide signs. A. Work zone signs. Highway work zones are established according to the type of work underway along the roadway. Signs in work areas are typically diamond-shaped, orange, have black letters or symbols, and serve as a warning that people are working on or near the highway. A motorist making a left turn at an intersection must yield the right-of-way to a bicyclist entering the intersection from the opposite direction. A. True. B. False. A. True. When turning left at an intersection, you must yield to oncoming bicycles in the same manner that you would yield to oncoming motor vehicles. Keep your wheels straight while waiting to turn and proceed when the way is clear of traffic and pedestrians. Trucks, tractor-trailers, buses, and RVs have A. Much smaller blind spots than smaller cars. B. Much larger blind spots than smaller cars. C. Blind spots the same size as cars' blind spots. D. Mirrors that eliminate blind spots. B. Much larger blind spots than smaller cars. Trucks, tractor-trailers, buses, and RVs have much larger blind spots than cars. Your ability to stop is affected by A. Signal lights. B. Other cars on the road. C. The time of day. D. The condition of the road. D. The condition of the road. Your ability to stop is greatly affected by the condition of the road. You need to reduce your speed when road conditions are poor in order to maintain control of your vehicle. You will be at risk if you are driving too quickly on roads that are slippery and you need to stop. Distracted drivers are at a greater risk of a crash when they are using which of the following? A. CD player. B. Radio. C. Cell phone. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Using a cell phone, including a hands-free phone, or any kind of audio device, including a radio or CD player, can be a dangerous distraction and contributes to the risk of a crash. You are entering a crowded freeway. What should you do to merge into traffic? A. Use your side and rear view mirrors and check your blind spots. B. Use the acceleration lane to adjust your speed to match the speed of freeway traffic. C. Yield to traffic already on the freeway. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Use the entrance ramp to accelerate to the speed of freeway traffic and yield to traffic already using the freeway. Before entering traffic, use your mirrors and check your blind spots to verify that you have room to safely merge. Traffic signals sometimes display arrows to control turns from specific lanes. A solid red arrow, A, is never used as a traffic signal. B, has the same meaning as a circular red traffic light. C, means that drivers may turn in the direction indicated by the arrow. D, means that the traffic the arrow is pointing toward must stop. B, has the same meaning as a circular red traffic light. A solid red arrow in a traffic signal means the same thing as a circular red traffic light. When an arrow is red, traffic in the indicated lane must stop and may not turn in the direction that the arrow is pointing. The $500 uninsured motor vehicle fee provides basic liability insurance coverage. A. True. B. False. B. False. The $500 uninsured motorist fee does not provide insurance coverage. It simply allows you to register and operate the vehicle in Virginia for a one-year period. DMV can deny or suspend driving privileges for persons under 18 if the juvenile is found. A. Delinquent by a court. B. To be in need of supervision. C. To have been involved in an alcohol or drug-related offense. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. If you are convicted of a demerit point traffic violation committed when you were under age 18, DMV will require that you complete a driver improvement clinic. If you do not complete the clinic within 90 days, DMV will suspend your driving privilege until you complete the clinic and pay a reinstatement fee. When passing other vehicles. A. Check your mirrors and blind spots. B. Honk your horn at least 3 times. C. Re-enter your lane within 10 feet of the passed vehicle. D. There is no need to signal. A. Check your mirrors and blind spots. Before passing another vehicle, check your mirrors and blind spots. Before changing lanes, activate the appropriate turn signal. Re-enter the lane when you can see the front of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. A driver who is taking a non-prescription drug should A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. B. Drink alcohol instead. C. Continue to drive regardless of any warning labels. D. Drive only during daylight hours. A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. Many over-the-counter medications can affect your ability to drive safely. If you take medication, even a remedy for colds or allergies that is not prescribed, check the label for warnings about its effects. If you are unsure, ask your doctor or pharmacist about driving while on the medication. Drivers are always required to stop for a stopped school bus when driving on a two-lane road. A. True. B. False. A. True. Drivers are always required to stop for a stopped school bus when driving on a two-lane road, regardless of their direction of travel. You should exercise caution when driving near children. A driver entering interstate traffic from an entrance or acceleration ramp. A. Should yield to drivers already on the interstate. B. Has the right of way. C. May force their way into traffic. D. Can assume that other drivers will change lanes to make room. A. Should yield to drivers already on the interstate. If you are on an entrance or acceleration ramp and are entering interstate traffic, you should yield to drivers already on the interstate highway. Merge safely into traffic when you are able to do so. The act of turning your head and checking your blind spot before changing lanes, driving away from a curb, or merging your vehicle into traffic is A. A bad driving habit. B. A good driving habit. C. Unnecessary. D. Not necessary if you use the rearview mirror. B. A good driving habit. When changing lanes, it is important to check your blind spots. Do this by looking over your shoulder toward the next lane. Do not rely only on your mirrors. Drivers should have a minimum of fill in the blank in liability insurance coverage for the injury or death of two or more people. A. $20,000. B. $10,000. C. $40,000. D. $50,000. D. $50,000. To meet legal standards for liability insurance coverage in the state of Virginia, a driver must have $25,000 of coverage for injury or death of one person, $50,000 of coverage for injury or death of two or more people, and $20,000 of coverage for property damage. If uninsured, a driver must pay a $500 uninsured vehicle fee.